Koby. This is a disappointing turn of events. Don't you agree, Vice Admiral Barry? Yes, sir, I agree as well. I looked up to you, Koby. I believed in you. I vouched for you. There were people out there that were like, whoa, Koby doesn't deserve this sudden rank up into Rear Admiral status. And I'm like, you know what? I think he deserves it. He's got pluck. He's got moxie. He's got a pretty badass bandana. But then you go ahead and you pull this shit. Koby, you deserve your demotion back to captain for the foreseeable future. I don't know if you'll ever rise to the rank of Admiral. I don't know if your dream will ever be brought to fruition. If you rise to a rank higher than Commodore, I will be a shocked man. You disappointed us, son. You disappointed us. I might just be a humble seaman apprentice, but Barry's a Vice Admiral. He believed in you too. Okay, so I'm sorry I had to dress Koby down just now, guys. I mean, he really just... It's just when you believe in someone and they just fail miserably, just like Koby did, you just part of your heart just breaks, you know? Okay. So in case you didn't know, a couple of things in One Piece news to bring up here. The first thing is this. In Volume 95, in the Tankobon that was just released in Japan a couple of weeks ago, there was a correction that was done. Remember back in the chapter where we found out that Sword exists? You know, X-Drake, Captain of Sword, you know, and he's actually a Marine this whole time, working for this secret covert organization, and he's talking to Koby, and we find out that Koby had a new rank in that chapter. We find out he was no longer Captain Koby, but Rear Admiral Koby. And, you know, that's a pretty big promotion. Also considering the fact that, like, when he was escorting the Dressrosa ship with Rebecca, which I guess is his new waifu, to Reverie, he was still a captain. And then, like, a couple of weeks, maybe a month later, tops, he's all of a sudden a Rear Admiral. So I'm like, whoa, you're skipping over a few ranks there. You're skipping over the Commodore rank, and then you're just jumping right to Rear Admiral. That's pretty damn impressive, right? But I figured, oh, okay, well, he was personally trained by Garp, and he knows hockey, and he's got his Rokushiki techniques that he's good at, and he just saved Rebecca, and not just one king in Riku Dole III, but he also saved the king of the Proton's kingdom, Elisabello II. So I'm thinking, okay, he helped out saving these two kings from, you know, defeat or getting sunk in the middle of the ocean on the way to Reverie, so maybe that's why, all of these things together, and also the fact that maybe just, like, because the world is changing and the Yonko are becoming more active, maybe the Marines are taking a more proactive approach to this, so they're looking at all the aspiring young Marines, the ones that are kind of rising through the ranks, because Koby did go from being a chore boy to a captain within 2 years. Alright, you can't overlook that. That's incredibly impressive, right, in the context of the Marines. So I could say, well, you know, the Marines, like Sakazuki and the other higher-ups and the admirals, they're looking at everything, and Kong as well, who's like the Pan Fleet Admiral, or like the Commander-in-Chief here. They're looking at everybody and they're like, you know what? The Yonko are becoming more active. We need to really get these Marines, you know, we need to get some more admirals in our, you know, midst, so maybe people will be a little bit more terrified of the Marines. So they looked at all the potential applicants, like, hey, there's this guy named Koby that was personally recruited and trained by Garp. You know, Garp the Fist, Garp the Hero, and he rose to captain within 2 years. I could see them evaluating him and being like, all right, you know what? Let's give him a Rear Admiral status just so we have more admirals to work with, right? So there was a few different ways you could spin it, but no, it turns out that that was a mistake on Oda's part, and in the Tankobon, it was actually corrected to Captain. This was not an error in translation. This wasn't like they wrote down Rear Admiral and people were confused, and wrote Captain and they wrote Rear Admiral instead. No, this is an example of like Katakuri, you know, Logia to Special Paramecia kind of thing. I think this is really just Oda drawing the chapter, writing the chapter out, turning it in, and then maybe after it's published in Jump, Oda's like, oh, I don't know about that. Making Katakuri a Logia, I think I might correct that, because they get kind of second chances here. You don't want to rely on that crutch too much, though, because you don't want it to be like a constant thing, where stuff's being published in Shonen Jump, and whenever we get to the Tankobon format, you know, it's like completely other stuff that wasn't in the magazine that were like being corrected. Every once in a while it's fine, and at the end of the day it's just Koby's rank in the Marines. I mean, if it was a major rank, if it was like Koby is all of a sudden a vice admiral or an admiral, I was like, okay, that's a little weird. But, you know, still, I think a lot of people were hoping that he would have stayed as a rear admiral, because that was his dream, to become an admiral, and this was like his first step forward. You know, there's not a lot of other rear admirals in the story. Do you understand the work that I had to do because of Koby's demotion? I made that video last year all about the rear admirals, and look who I put in the thumbnail. I was proud of you, Koby, but now I had to go all the way back and change the thumbnail for that video, so instead of Hina and Koby hanging out, it's Hina and then another sexy picture of Hina. Do you understand the strife that I have to go through now? I had to edit Hina's image. I had to put her boobs in the thumbnail. Do you know how that makes me feel? Pretty damn awesome, as a matter of fact. But anyway, alright, so, yeah, Koby's still a captain. I hope he will get promoted properly. But hey, there is an option for that coming up, though, because in the Jump Festa for this year, or 2020, because the Jump Festas are for, like, the following year. So Jump Festa 2020 was in December, but there's a little bit of a letter that Oda, you know, issued to everybody, the fans of One Piece and to Shonen Jump. I remember a couple years ago, he was talking about, you know, like, the lurking legend showing up. This is where Oda makes those kind of, you know, announcements and stuff. I don't think he's there in person. I think it's just like a letter he sends in. But he does talk about how Wano is reaching the core, and how we're going to find out everything right now about, you know, Oden's flashback, and how Oda has to kind of restrain himself from spoiling things, because Oda obviously he knows where this is going. He knows where this is ending. So he's like, I gotta be careful and not to, like, write too much or, like, draw too much in the background, you know, to spoil people on what, like, the One Piece is, or what Laugh Tale looks like, or anything like that. But something else he did mention at the end of the letter was like, I hope you guys are excited for this year, because Wano's getting to its core. And also, on the flip side of that coin, Sabo is and Vivi will and Boa Hancock is That's basically what Oda wrote in the... Yeah, he's Oda, right? Okay, so, Sabo and Vivi... I've already made videos about that, on what's up with Sabo and what's going on with... Actually, no. Did I talk about Vivi yet? I feel like I have mentioned it in a video, but that I could do something else about that if I haven't already. But Boa Hancock, that's the thing I'm paying attention to right now. All right. What's going on with you, Boa? All right, here's the deal. Koby, in his mighty marine power, is heading to Amazon Lily right now to bring in the Snake Princess herself, Boa Hancock. If Koby was able to achieve his mission, if he was able to bring down one of the Shishibukai, the royal warlords of the sea, the former royal warlords of the sea, if he was able to, with minimal casualties and minimal injuries on the marine side, bring in Boa into Impel Down, I think that would deserve a promotion. Would you not agree with that? So I'm thinking, Boa's, you know, Oda's kind of specifying something's going on with Boa Hancock. And by the way, I'm really pumped for that, not just because of Boa, but it seems to imply, and I don't want to, you know, I don't want to grasp at straws here, okay? But typically how we normally do this is at the end of every act of Wano, we kind of cut around the world really quick. We get like 1 or 2 chapters seeing what's going on all over the world, and then we cut right back to Wano. But if Oda's talking about like Sabo and Vivi and Boa, characters that are not really relevant to Wano right now, it seems to get my hopes up that we might have just a tiny little mini arc focusing on that. Like, it doesn't have to be long, but like maybe after Act 3 of Wano, we cut to Koby fighting against, you know, the Kuja for like 3 chapters or something. And that's like, oh, okay, that's cool, right? And then we cut to Act 4, and then at the end of Act 4, we cut back to what's going on with Sabo and Vivi for like 3 chapters. And we cut back to Act 5, and Act 5's done, and then Wano's over. Wano could very well end by the end of 2020. I want to prepare everybody for that right now, right? But, yeah, so the question, though, is, could Koby bring in Boa Hancock? First off, I'm really pumped because I think this is a great opportunity to really show off Boa's power. If you saw the movie Stampede, she literally just jumps and kicks Douglas Bullett's giant kaiju mech form and like turns it to stone. So she basically has like a Dragon Ball Z Goku kick in that movie. It shocked the ever-loving hell out of me. Honestly, like I was in the theater watching it, you know, I was sitting there in the theater, I'm watching the movie, and, you know, a few things were spoiled for me beforehand that I personally looked into, you know, what's going on with the movie. I'll be honest with you, that was like the most shocking moment, because I already knew about the laugh tail log pose, and the eternal pose, I knew about all that, you know, but that one scene where Boa's like, don't you try to harm my husbando, and she jumps up and does the twirl, and just boom, and just boom! Just destroy it. She doesn't destroy it, you know, because Douglas Bullitt has the Gasha no Mi. He can kind of just heal. He's like the T-1000. He can just kind of heal, but damn, that was a powerful ass kick, all right? And I wasn't the only one in the theater that thought that was a crazy scene, too. Like, whoa. Because we're not normally used to seeing Boa get that crazy in battle. I mean, we saw her during Marineford. She was, like, knocking down pacifistas like it was nothing. But that was a whole new level that we saw in the movie. Alright, so I'm wondering if they consulted Oda on that. It's just like, hey, Oda-sensei, I know you're busy with the manga. Hey, we're over here doing Stampede. Hey, there's a scene in the movie where we're gonna have Boa Hancock fight against this giant kaiju. And our plan was for her to jump up and kick the thing so damn hard that it pumps a giant hole in it and knocks it back. Is that cool? And Oda was just, like, drawing one piece. I was like, yeah, that's cool. Boa, I'm actually going to do some stuff with her next year, and that's going to showcase how badass she is. So, yeah, make her seem as literally cool as possible. Okay, cool, great. I'm going to get back to this now. Okay, you know, it's like, King, I can't wait to draw you. You know, but yeah, so maybe that's like foreshadowing or building hype for Boa Hancock when she's gonna, okay, you know, Snake Princess, an entire fleet of marine battleships are approaching our island. I think it's time to act. And I would actually love to see that. I would love to see Boa mobilizing all of the Kuja, acting as their leader, not just as a queen that stands in the back, but actually like leading the charge. I don't think the Kuja have armor or anything like that. That's not really how they fight, but I could see them all mobilizing, getting their snake bows together. Sanderzonia and Marigold, they go into their snake forms, right? And Boa Hancock she just jumps on top of that mountain, on like the nine snake mountain on top of the island, and she just like releases an entire burst of her Mero, and it just like encapsulates the entire area, and all of the Marines on the ships that don't figure out a way to resist that immediately just get turned to stone, and then they just jump from the island, just start beating the crap out of the Marines, and then it's Koby's time. You know, Koby, this is the problem with fighting against a warlord, at least from the warlord's perspective, okay? The Marines kind of know everything that they got. Not every little last detail and power, but the Marines are well aware of how Boa Hancock fights, and especially since she fought at the war. They know she has the love fruit. They know what it does, so they might take precautions against that if they can. I'm not really sure how you could take precautions against that. All right, men, when you're fighting Boa Hancock, pay attention not to her face. It's too beautiful. You'll be swept up by the Mero. Don't stare at her chest because that's even worse. Stare at her feet. You can't be aroused if you stare at her feet. And like, there's a few men in the Marines that raise their hand. It's like, well, actually, we kind of have a little bit of a foot fetish. All right. What are you not turned on by? Hands. Feet do it for us, but hands not. Okay, pay attention. Okay, foot fetishists, pay attention to her hands. Hand fetishists, pay attention to her feet. All right, that's how we're gonna make it out of this battle alive, men. You know, okay? But no, seriously, they know how it works. So Koby might pull a manga here. He might be smart enough to be like, oh, she's releasing her love powers. All right, let's... maybe not a knife, but take like a nail or even like a thumbtack or something and just... and so that you focus on the pain there. that's not really going to matter in the long run because Boa Hancock also has other powers, like her mighty kick of devastation, and she also has like her bullet that she can fire off with like the heart bullet thing and her slave arrows. I've said this before multiple times, but it really does seem like with certain techniques, she doesn't even need to rely on somebody's like affection or lust for her, because she was kicking pacifistas and turning them to stone. She was kicking Smoker's staff and turning that to stone. Things that are like, unless Boa Hancock is so sexy that an inanimate object can lust after her, which I'm not 100% done ruling out, but unless that's the case, you know, she can pretty much, as long as she gets up close and personal to you, maybe she does the mero 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 from a distance just to, because she's very arrogant and she's, you know, narcissistic and things, so she's just like, I am so beautiful, I don't even need to lift a finger to defeat you all, I don't even need to get close to you, all I have to do is just this, and you'll all turn to stone before me. She kind of gets a kick off of that, but if she doesn't even do that, if she just gets up close and personal, like, okay, you've pissed me off now, you're going after Luffy, or you're trying to attack my island, I'm gonna get up close and personal, and just boom, Boa just punches you right in the gut, your gut, you know, it just, crap, and then you just break apart into stone rubble. That's what happens to you, right? Alright, so I might be getting a little bit too hype for what's happening next in the story, but considering we got that Jump Festa letter, and considering, you know, Koby's in action right now, we saw him heading to the island, please don't overlook this, Oda. Please don't skip over this. Please don't just, like, the next time we cut over to Amazon Lily, we have Boa Hancock already in chains, ready to go, and being sent to Impel Down. Or on the opposite end of that spectrum, we cut over to Amazon Lily, we see all the Marines just devastated and just turned to stone, just, like, sinking in the ocean, and just the ones that managed to make it to shore, like, we managed to make it to shore! Charge! And they all turn to stone, and the beaches of Amazon Lily are just littered with just rocks and crushed rubble, and Koby's there, he's like kneeling beneath Boa Hancock, just bleeding, and he's like, you won't get away with this, Snake Princess, and Boa Hancock just crushes him, right? Yeah, like, can we just not have either of that? I want to see the actual fight, okay? The way that Oda is specifying it, though, it might be that the Marines end up winning, or, you know, because like, oh, Boa Hancock's gonna be in trouble, or, considering Koby has a connection to Luffy, Boa and the rest of the Kuja all like Luffy, maybe it's a thing where they do start fighting, and a lot of the Marines do fall, and a lot of the Kuja do fall, but the thing that's kind of gonna end this whole death and devastation and war between the Marines and the Kuja are, like, Koby brings up Luffy. Like, you could honestly totally picture that. I want you to picture Boa Hancock being as pissed as she's ever been before. And she's just like, the Marines will not step one foot on my island. Destroy them all! And she's using her powers, and the Kuja are firing their arrows, and they're all just like absolute devastation. She has this look on her face. She's got like her head veins popping. And then Koby's just like, wait a second, I know Luffy! It's like, how dare the Marines? Oh my god, you know Luffy! Oh my god, that's so awesome! I know Luffy too! Where is he? What's up with him? He's like, I don't know, but he's pretty awesome. Like, oh my god, he is! And Boa just like twirls down to Koby and be like, how is he? How have you known him for long? And like, and then it's just this weird scene where the Kuja are like, oh, what? And the Marines are like, men, fire at will! Oh, okay. Koby's like, just, yeah, you know, weapons down, men. I got this. And then the whole war ends with just Koby and Boa Hancock chilling out in the palace, exchanging sake, drinking, and just sharing stories with Luffy. Meanwhile, Koby's trying to think, how the hell do I get out of this? How do I explain this to the higher-ups, you know? Like, yeah, Admiral Sakazuki, yeah, we were, Fleet Admiral Sakazuki, I should say. Yeah, we attacked Amazon Lily, and we lost a lot of men. We took out some Kuja. Alright, well, what's the current status? Did you bring in the Snake Princess? I'm like, working on that currently. Just kind of chilling out in her bed chambers right now. I'll get back to you. Click. And just, okay. Do you think Boa Hancock would fall for the old switcheroo trick, which is, like, kind of like Kobe's like dressing up as Luffy and just like, hold on a second, like let me just dye my hair black here, put on a straw hat, paint on a scar, and it's like Kobe's in the freaking bathroom in his ship and he's like, sir, what are you doing? No. Who's the rear admiral here? You're a captain, sir. Yeah, who's the captain here? All right, give me a second. All right, I got this. He puts on the hat and he's just like, hi, Boa, how are you doing? And then Boa comes down, or I don't know if Koby would know that much about Boa to the point where he could do that kind of trick. Or he could do like the, hey, yeah, Luffy really wants to meet you, Boa. He actually wants to get married to you in level 6 Impel Down. Isn't that romantic? You should go over there and see him immediately. All right, I'm just throwing out crap just for laughs at this point. Obviously, none of that's gonna happen. But, it's gonna be a battle. It's gonna be a fight. And at the end of this fight, considering how it goes for Koby, I could see Koby being promoted to like a proper Rear Admiral rank. This time, he actually did something substantial that we can all kind of look at and say, alright, he brought in one of the Warlords of the Sea, like, almost single-handedly. There are other Marines that are going to Amazon Lily. The way he was talking with Drake, he was, like, not the only one being sent. There were probably a lot of other high-ranking Marines, like Captains, Commodores, Rear Admirals. Hina might also be actually heading to Amazon Lily to, like, lead it. There should also be an Admiral being sent as well, at least not Kizaru, and Green Bull. Somebody has to be going to Amazon Lily. Fujitora, yeah, that was the idea I had earlier, because Fujitora's blind, so, and also just the way that Fujitora views the world, his idea of, like, you know, beautiful women or, like, lusting after women, it might not really apply to him, you know, because Fujitora is much more of, like, I am the blind swordsman that just, you know, I view people's hearts and minds as beautiful rather than their physical appearances. I could actually see that playing against Boa, where Boa does this and tries to turn Fujitora to stone, and Fujitora might have a line of just, like, you know, he could, like, sense Boa's soul in the way she acts to people, you know, and stuff, and the way she treats, like, small animals, and she kind of, you know, since she met Luffy, she's doing a little bit better, but she's still not that great in that regard, so Fujitora might sense her aura with his observation hockey, and just might have a line of, like, even if I could see, young lady, I would not fall stone to you, because I can sense that your soul, your aura, is certainly not beautiful as you claim it to be. Like, and that would be, holy crap, would that be a sick burn? But you could kind of see Fujitora saying that, right? Like, I've sensed your aura, and it is not beautiful by any stretch of the imagination. You kick puppies, for God's sake. You know, and then Boa would just be sent into, like, yeah. But if you're gonna take out the Warlords, you gotta send a lot of Marines. So not just Koby involved here. You gotta send at least an Admiral here to make certain to bring her in, right? Not only just Boa, you also have to keep in mind that her sisters are gonna fight. The other Kuja are nothing to sneeze at. All the Kuja know how to use hockey with their arrows. So, this is going to be a tough-ass fight, right? But I'm thinking Koby can do it. I'm thinking Koby, some other Marines as well, where maybe like Koby and get an Admiral in there, get like Hina as a Rear Admiral to fight, get some spotlights for the Marines we haven't really spotlighted before that much, and I think we'll be set. I think we'll be good. All right. Anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. This will be Tekking101 signing out. Let's all salute Vice Admiral Barry here. Yes, sir, can we end the video? Absolutely. All right, then. Thank you. Have a good day, men.